plus. Maybe that's never. But the problem is, ever since the Kramnik stuff, I feel like if I start doing well, people assume the worst of intentions. Why did he end the stream? So they start playing well. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean, but you don't have anything to prove those people.
The issue is just the lingering effect of it. One final game. You know, the nature of my frustration with people who, you know, still will not understand the reality of like the whole Kramnik saga and you know what was at stake. So it's more perplexing than anything that there are people who somehow aren't able to wrap their heads around what was on the line for me, but that's just the reality. And, you know, the general sort of gravity of the situation and precarity of the situation. So I'm just never going to be able to change that, unfortunately, despite my best efforts. But in general, just like people arguing with me on a topic where I literally, like, you know that I know a lot more than, you know, person X looking at it from the outside, and people actually feeling like they know anything about a situation is absolutely stunning to me. So yeah. One day, Moves. One day. I know you like that stuff. One day. If I have to, I'll exercise the Samson option. We don't have nuclear weapons, but we'll use them if we have to. Honestly, he really let Kramnik get under his skin in a way that's unhealthy and kind of let it take over his whole life from his reaction, compared to someone like Hikaru who didn't give a single shit and made Kramnik go even crazier. He seemed really distressed over the matter. You know, why would he be distressed about it? And even barely streamed for the last year. Yeah, which is once or twice. It's only how to say the most untrue things in the fewest possible words. Seemed really just only a few times live, semi-regular, like 3-4 times a week. It sucks when he went through because Kramnik is a moron. But I think he definitely needs to work on not letting some people talking some nonsense and trolls online to get under his skin so easily, especially when he proved how strong of a player he is in the Rapid and Blitz World Championships. Thank you. It's definitely a lesson for him to learn from, given that he is a streamer and a YouTuber, and this will not be the last time he faces criticism or trolling. Oh, it actually will be. Well, in this regard. It comes with the environment. And there's a reason people know I'm not to be fucked with on this front. Like, I don't know, maybe this is like a satirical comment, but I'm afraid it wasn't intended that way, although it would be funny to interpret it in that way. And the only way to, you know, not pull my hair out. I mean, again, I have no question that this is a fan, a card-carrying fan, and wishes nothing but the best for me. So, you know, my heart goes out to him, but it doesn't make any of these statements any more, like, any more true. Or any less false, I guess I should say. And I like, you know, any comments or takes where there's this, like, huge, like, infinite delta between how much someone knows about a situation and how confidently one pronounces their conclusions on it. And it's funny when that difference reaches, like, insane proportions. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . So yeah, that's my spiel. But I literally, that's the first thing I said. The good faith nature of it is not in question. Like, accepted and point conceded has nothing to do with what I'm saying. Yeah, don't let the comment, exactly, don't let the trolls saying that you're letting the trolls get to you. Or the ones who say that you're responding too much to comments that are charging you with responding too much to trolls. But on this front specifically, it definitely drives part of me crazy because I think because of the amount of like emotional, mental, physical energy that it took to react in the way that I did, and how much thought was put into reacting the way that I did, and my conviction that if I didn't do that work, like how serious the situation was and how much was at risk and how close things were to snowballing into ending my career, like, all of that put together is also what, while I think this is funny, it also just like saddens me that there's a non-zero number of people who cling to this concept. Just Indonesian black tea. And of course, like, one of the saddest things about the whole thing is dragging you guys and my fan base like through the mud, which was an inevitable byproduct. And that also makes me upset that people had to tolerate this for so long, and of course that sucks. And I vehemently wish that like there was a way to shield people from all of the nonsense and focus on what I do best, but and the patience and just like understanding that people extended and you guys extended is part of the reason I was able to come out in one piece, and something I'm super, super grateful for. But unfortunately there was just no other way. And part of the strategic weighing of the scales was like, okay, how do I do what I want to do, send the message I want to send, and drag people through the dirt the least amount of time, while also like doing the necessary work of slaying the monster. And not hurting people who maybe should be hurt reputationally, but I wanted to shield just because I don't wish harm upon people, and I myself don't want to like damage people's chess careers in the prospect. That's just not my calling in life. So doing all of that and simultaneously while doing it, dealing with people who are like constantly asking me and questioning why I'm raising the topic at all. Like, man, that ain't easy, folks. But what I'm trying to say is that at some point, like, not responding was not an option. Like, it would lead to the destruction of my livelihood. Like, this is a fact. This is not a matter of opinion. This is a, of course it's not a fact in the pure sense of the word, but it's something I feel very confidently about. And hopefully I haven't painted myself as someone who passes things off as indisputable fact. Like, I'm okay saying I don't know, but this is something I feel very, very strongly about, given all of the facts of the situation. So yeah. And please don't feel like you have to like walk on eggshells if I talk about this. Like, I'm not going to time you out for, not towing the party line. You can be totally honest. Like, I appreciate people's views and opinions, and like it helps me stay sane. Dude, but Perturbed, if you're saying that, like, that's part of the problem. You feel like I'm talking about Kramnik every time you come here. Like, I don't even remember the last time I talked about it, probably like 6 months ago. So this type of comment is like part of the issue. You see what I'm saying? And I'm not impinging upon your ability to close the stream. Yeah. Anyways, on we go. And again, if there's anybody who thinks any part of me like enjoyed this or enjoyed the spotlight or the, solicitation of sympathy, like another pretty brain dead take with respect. There's nothing I'd rather wish for than for this to never have happened. Like, if I could rewind the time machine, I would do it an inside. I'd sacrifice 100 rating points for that. In fact, I did. That's why FIDE took the rating away. I made a deal with the devil. Like, there goes your Blitz rating. I do now, Christor, and I really, really appreciate you saying that. But unfortunately, part of the complete like misconceptions and or ignorant perspective that people have is that no matter how many times I would repeat that, like, from my perspective, I know that unfortunately the sort of amount of people who are falling for the insanity is, not just high, but like catastrophically existentially high, to the point where like this is an imminent and incredibly like sticky threat to my career. Like, me saying that and people just like brushing it off as like, oh yeah, you're taking one person's opinion and blowing it up, that's pretty infuriating. Like, there's just nothing I can do about that at some point. I thought that around the time of the accusations, it was largely accepted that he had gone a bit mental. That's unfortunately not true. That's literally what I'm just saying. Obviously, percentage-wise, a majority of people understood the reality of the situation, but that majority is far less lopsided than perhaps you may think. Both in terms of the significance of who was misguided and, the potential impact of those people creating that snowball effect, as well as just like numbers wise. So, when we talk about a minority of people, right, obviously there's the notion of them being vocal, but again, like, you got to realize that a lot of people just cannot wrap their heads around the fact that they're like outwardly sane, rational people with their heads screwed on straight who, and this is the terrifying part, it's when you see people that you absolutely have no doubt initially that they are not going to fall for this. There is no way in hell, John and Bob and, all these people are actually going to fall for this and are actually going to start, showing indecision. Like, when you see that unfold, it's terrifying. Like, it's just absolutely terrifying. You're like, this cannot be happening. Like, there's no way that this is, quote, working. You see? And, then there's, of course, people who will be like, okay, sure, whatever. But how does that impact your livelihood? Like, you're just taking that and you're just saying that like it's a fact. Like, who ultimately, like, even if some GM will think this, like, who cares? Like, how does this stop you from, doing your speedrun? And that is shocking to me as well, because that literally is what a legacy is. That is all I have. I could not live with the you know, and maybe that's a me problem, but if I knew that some of the most influential movers and shakers of the chess world, you know, would carry the notion that I am a completely morally bankrupt individual, that would represent the complete failure of literally everything that my reason for waking up in the morning, you know? You see what I'm saying? And so, and let's take all of that on top of that. Another thing that I've repeated so many times, people saying like ignoring is the best way to deal with something. That is what I did. Okay, like initially, I literally did take. I don't say go fuck yourself. That's just not my style. I don't think that is a productive. I think that just like non-responsiveness is my like the Naroditsky equivalent. So, on top of like the ignorance, there's also just literally not remembering or not understanding the facts, like what I did and what I didn't do, you know? And okay, so you might listen to this and say, well, why do you feel like you're in any way entitled to anybody coming to your defense? Like, I'm not entitled to that. I said that from the very beginning. I would never hold someone responsible for staying silent, but yes, it would be nice. And this is the one area where I really feel proud that I have practiced what I preached. And you say, well, have you come to the defense of your colleagues who were in any way in a similar situation? Well, in this particular instance, it is something I'm proud of. It is something I feel like I've evolved in the positive direction in. And, you know, yeah, it would be nice if the favor were, in the case of some, returned. You know? You see what I'm saying? You feel me, girl? Centralizing. Calm, improving the position. F4. And the double exchange sack. Check. It's a cornucopia. And one more. Until the next loss. That was a nice game. That was actually surprisingly a nice game. We stop at our next loss. Okay, Baccarat is suddenly online. Okay, next loss. Maybe that's never. Never say never. Okay, who else wants to receive a beating? Mikola back online. Lots of people. Alright. Can I end on the next loss?
No. Why not unplug it if you don't end it? The stream part. Not the playing part, the stream.
But the problem is, ever since the Kramnik stuff, I feel like if I start doing well, people assume the worst of intentions. Like, why did he end the stream? So they start playing well. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean, but you don't have anything to prove those people.
The issue is just the lingering effect of it. One final game.
Just end the stream and then you can play as much as you want.
Well, my curfew is 2 a.m.
I know, but just end the stream. You have a big event tomorrow as well.
I know, and I've been taking it seriously. Okay. On that note, thank you guys for the support. I will do my utmost tomorrow. My playing Blue Baum. It's a double elimination format. I would be honored if you joined. I don't even know if the event is being commentated. That's the crazy part. It's the biggest prize fund in online tournament history. And basically, we don't even know where the show will be broadcast. So, hopefully it'll be commentated. Hopefully I can get far. And I will do my very, very best. Tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern. And Matthias Bluebaum, my opponent, 4-game mini match. We got this. All for one and one for all. Alright guys, thank you for watching. I will definitely do a debrief stream, win or lose. Trying to be a little bit more professional, and definitely more YouTube content coming up soon. Thanks everybody. Thanks for all the support through thick and thin. I will play a few more games, try to get that rating back up, and we'll take it from there. All right. Thanks, everybody. Be well, be healthy, be safe, and I'll see you guys, win or lose, after the match.